Glad you could join us. Now, two persons, including a 19-year-old man who sustained severe injuries at the EJURA youth protest yesterday, have been transferred to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. Two have been discharged, leaving one more on admission. Medical Superintendent of the EJURA Government Hospital, Dr. Mensa Manye, told Joy News all patients are in stable condition and responding to treatment. He also dismissed allegations that the hospital took the cost for the care of the administrators so far.
Okay, so 4 people were on admission at the EJURA Government Hospital where we are standing at the moment. I would like to get the medical superintendent himself, Dr. Mensa Manye, to speak to us about their condition at the moment. Good morning, Doc, and welcome to News Desk on Joy News.
Fine morning.
Well, tell us, what is the status of those who are injured and on admission at the moment?
Generally, they are all stable. I think yesterday I had to even discharge 2 of them because of their stability. Or the degree of injury was not so much severe, so I discharged 2 of them. The other 2, theirs were serious. Yesterday, after the incident, I then went back to explore or to actually reassess the extent of injury. I realized the 90-year-old boy, the injury he had at the back of the waist, opening in front of the abdomen, was bleeding profusely, so I suspected an internal organ injury. So quickly, what I did was, that's why he was stable, talking to us, I deemed it necessary to refer to Komfo-Anokye for further investigation and management. Not that it posed some threat of maybe, losing his life, but I deemed it necessary to explore. CT scan could be done there. We are limited. We could only do the X-ray, which we have done already. So I refer for further investigation and management. But I communicated that he's also very stable, responding to treatment.
So currently you have 1 person on admission and you intend to refer that one as well to Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. Is that correct?
Correct. That person had multiple fractures around the femur. So that's the right femur, the right thigh bone, which is very serious. Such a fracture requires an orthopedic surgeon to manage. We have limitation, or we have our threshold. Where it got to, I need to refer it to Komfo-Anokye for further investigation and management. They will also do their necessary operation there. So that's where we are now.
And Dr. Mensa Manye is the medical superintendent for the EJURA Government Hospital. Now, if you're seeing the small crowd here, they were brought in or accompanied by the chief of EJURA, who has just visited the people who are on admission at the moment. I do have his Nifahine here with us still. I will speak with him briefly on what the visit was about and the assurance of the chiefs of continued peace in EJURA. Good morning, sir. Your name, sir?
Good morning. I'm Nana Osei Kojo Ansebie, the Nifahine of EJURA.
We've seen the chief of EJURA here this morning. What's the purpose of the visit?
He came in to visit the injured, those who are hospitalized, and also interact with the hospital management on the way so far, and then also those who have been referred to Kumasi, how they are faring.
So, currently we are seeing relatively calm on the streets of EJURA. What is the role of Nananom at the moment in ensuring that it stays this way?
We're continuing with what Burma EJURA started with the elders. That is speaking with the appropriate people, the youth, the leadership, the chief imam, the Zongo chief, and nobody at all who can help to restore peace. That is what we are doing.
Now, the EJURA Municipal Police Commander, DSP Philip Hammond, has been assuring residents to remain calm as they conduct investigations into the incident.
I wish to take this opportunity to inform the general public and the people of EJURA that we are on our feet as far as the security and protection of individuals are concerned. Nobody should be afraid. We are urging the public to go about their normal duties or their trade without fear or any intimidation. We are assuring them that we will protect them and this bad incidents will not recur.
Concerning the update on the arrest?
So far, we have picked 3 people under investigation. We just picked 1 in addition to the previous 2, making 3 a while ago, and we are investigating them.
Is it possible you want to make the identities known?
Oh, for now, we will withhold their identity until we come out with useful information that we feel we can share with the public.
Meanwhile, Minister of Information Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah has condemned the EJURA killings and joins family to demand swift justice for the victims. He also called for investigations into the crowd control measures employed by the security agencies on ground, which resulted in the death of 2 persons who were involved in yesterday's protest. The minister spoke at a media briefing this morning.
The suspected murder of Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly called Kaka, and the subsequent death of 2 others, coupled with the injury of at least 3 more persons during youth protests after his burial, are terribly, terribly unfortunate and condemnable. We commiserate with the victims, the families, the loved ones, and the people of EJURA. Our security agencies should be quick and clinical in getting to the bottom of this and other unresolved crimes. Now, while we understand that police investigations sometimes take a while, it does not instill confidence in the population if such acts go unresolved and unpunished quickly. So the police need to get to the bottom of this, and justice must be done. Also, a credible investigation needs to be conducted into the crowd rioting and crowd control incident of the 29th of June. This is necessary to bring clarity to the sequence of events and to ensure that if any persons acted inappropriately, those persons are punished. We've also read and seen videos, I think this morning, from youth groups and family members who are admonishing politicians and other social groups who want to be opportunistic about this very sad incident to back off. And I think we can all agree with them. Let's deal with the purely criminal matter and get justice done for Kaka.
Now, security expert Professor Kwesi Ening has described the EJURA incident as symbolic of a country at a tipping point. This comes in the wake of police interventions to quell a protest. Professor Kwesi Ening was speaking on the PM Express show.
Creates a disturbing picture of youth, kids who are furious, who think their lives are not worth living, and therefore they will take the risk of attacking, a police vehicle. The symbolism in that, when armed officials run away from unarmed civilians, is that order is beginning to break down. And it sends a very clear signal that were we to organize much better, we will be able to have more victories. So when we juxtapose the two, what the conclusion one can make is that we are heading towards a tipping point in which a combination of frustrations, a sense of exclusion, and an in-depth and a growing sense of anger and a willingness to strike a blow against the state, irrespective of the outcome, is beginning to bubble to the fore. Now, this is something that we need to look at, and we need to pull back from the brink. Because when unarmed civilians decide to attack representatives of the state, that is a specific, deliberate decision that those people have made. And they've made it because they feel that life is not worth living, that they need to make their voices heard, and they are willing to bear the consequences of their actions.
Now, a campaigner of the Fix the Country movement, Felicity Obing, observed that there seemed to be an obvious frustration among the youth in the manner with which the security service handled murder cases in the country. She's calling for a second look at the issue at hand, and she was also speaking on PM Express.
People are frustrated because people are sick and tired of a system that doesn't listen to them, a system that tells them that their lives mean nothing. It's not that they think their lives mean nothing. Police kill people in cold blood and they're not held accountable. So it's not like they don't think their lives mean nothing. Kaka has been killed. People get killed all the time by the police, and very few people these people that were killed today, 3 right now, we know 2 are there definitely. What is going to actually happen? You know, if you read the police statement is basically justifying the violence. There's no accountability, no sense that they completely acted. You know, there's something called reasonable force. And do we think that they use reasonable force today? When people are using things like stones and so-called machetes, shooting guns, firing into a crowd, is that reasonable force? Is that how to control a crowd? And you kept saying that, oh, it doesn't matter, the words don't matter, but language absolutely does matter. Because when you start using words like missiles, and you might think, oh, it's a general use, but if it's general use, why not use stones?
Now, still on security, the Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service, COP Yaboa, has revealed that the killers of the late Member of Parliament from Fantiman, Ekokwanza Hayford, have been arrested and sentenced to 20 years. This came up at a press briefing on various robberies recorded across the country in recent times.
It will be recalled that on 8th of October 2020, at about 11 p.m., armed robbers attacked, robbed and killed the then sitting MP, Member of Parliament for Mfantima East, the late Honorable Ekokwanza Hayford. Investigation was taken over by the CID headquarters, and some suspects were initially arrested, while his mobile phone was retrieved in Kumasi. Whilst investigation was ongoing, some armed robbers, numbering about 6, attacked vehicles on the Jacobo Obuasi Highway on the 11th of May 2021 at about 2 a.m. The patrol team encountered them, and in the ensuing shootout, one of the armed robbers, later identified as Muhammad, was killed and 3 others arrested. Those arrested were Umar Sando, Jibo Ali, Sando Ali. They are all of Fulani extraction. During investigation, they admitted having taken part in the attack and murder of the late Honorable Ekokwanza Hayford on the 8th of October 2020 with the deceased, that is the one who was shot during the shootout with the police, as their leader. They were charged with a robbery based on the fact of the May 11, 2021 incident. That is the robbery, the highway robbery that took place on the Jacobo Obuasi Road. And on 18th of June this year, After the trial, they were convicted and sentenced to 20 years imprisonment each. All the convicts are to be arraigned before court in respect of the robbery and murder of the late Honorable Eko Kwanza Hayford. It means that we are now going to charge them and try them for the murder of the Honorable Eko Kwanza Hayford. So they are already serving 20 years imprisonment. So out of the 6, we've been able to arrest 4.
Now, despite what appears to be an upsurge in violent crimes, the Ashanti Regional Police Command is patting itself on the back for achievements in crime combat. Combat officials are happy at the gains made so far in crime combat as it arrests and prosecutes suspected criminals who have been terrorizing residents in the region. Ashanti Regional Deputy Police Commander DCOP David Ajimang, who catalogued arrests made in significant criminal cases, says efforts of police have yielded positive results as the region recorded a decline in the rate of crime since 2020. Ohimini Teria of our security desk has more in the following report.
Has recorded 2 bullion van attacks this year, leading to the death of a cashier and a police officer. General Lance Corporal Martin Baba, escorting a van, transported cash from the Dunkwa Ofin to the new Edibiase branch of the Ghana Commercial Bank, was killed by a gang. Police say the gang was led by a trigger-happy 22-year-old senior high school graduate, John Appiah, also known as Omega, who is still on the run. 7 suspected members of his gang have since been arrested. A cashier with an unnamed bank was also killed by robbers wielding AK-47 and pump-action guns at Mansumim in the Amansia South district. The robbers, who struck in broad daylight, also shot 2 police officers and the driver of the bullion van. Attacks on mobile money vendors in broad daylight at Bokrom Estate Junction and Bantama, as well as the killing of the wife of a GNPC bus's driver, are among recent security concerns of residents. But despite these violent crimes, police say murder and robbery are on a decline. In 2019, the region recorded 291 robberies. This reduced to 165, representing a 56% decline in 2020. Murder cases also saw a decline from 115 in 2019 to 85 in 2020. Though 2021 figures are not yet readily available, Ashanti Regional Deputy Police Commander DCOP David Ajimana says there is no cause for alarm.
Last year and this year, to be precise, the crime situation is not as bad as it used to be if you compare the statistics. The only difference is that I think now a few but violent, very violent crimes that are happening. And so everybody picks on them and we create an atmosphere of insecurity. But let me assure the public that the Ashanti region is very safe. I don't remember the last time we had a highway robbery. I don't remember the last time we had anybody going into anybody's home to rob and kill. And so, I mean, generally, the violent crimes are going, the numbers are going down, but just that the few ones that are happening are getting a bit violent.
There are also concerns over unresolved crimes in the region. DCOP Ajimana James says police investigators employ traditional and modern, including forensic strategies to apprehend and prosecute culprits.
With most of the cases you've raised, we have done very well at almost all of them. I think with the Bokrom case, there are about 5 persons in custody. With the bullion van one, where the policeman died, we also have about 6 or 7 people in custody. There's 1 person who is still at large and we are looking for. With Bantuma, we have recently had information that one of the suspects has been arrested in Accra, and we are sending persons to go and bring them. And so, yes, with all the cases, we have done a lot, and a lot is still being done.
Now, away from security, traders at Agboblosi Market, including livestock sellers, are moving to their new site at Ajin Kotoku. Earlier, the traders had indicated they were unable to make the 1st July relocation deadline. My colleague, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson, is there and she joins us live. Mamiesi, describe to us the mood currently at Agboblosi.
So, Daniel, I hope you can hear me clearly, but currently, as you can see, behind me is works being done in the process of moving the goods and belongings of traders here at Agboblosi to Ajin Kotoku. It's been a busy morning for the traders. Since the morning, they have been trying to pull down structures, pack their wares into vehicles, and then cart them to Ajin Kotoku. You know, there's also the issue of uncertainty on the faces of traders, not knowing what to expect when they get to Ajin Kotoku. So since morning I've been here. That is most of the what's happening here at Ajin Kotoku, Daniel.
Right. Earlier, some of the traders said they were unable to move. They expressed their protests against the general move by the Greater Accra Regional Ministry. Has there been any such sentiment expressed today?
Can you come again, Daniel? I didn't
Have any of the traders opposed the move since the move began?
I cannot hear you clearly, but I'm thinking you're asking if any of the traders have opposed the movement to Ajin Kotoku. But today, it doesn't look like it. Most of the traders are actually preparing to move. All of them are going. None of them have come out to say that they are not going to go. In fact, they don't have a choice as it stands now. They are all trying to move out to Ajin Kotoku as much as possible by close of today, Daniel.
Right. Have you seen any officials of the Greater Accra Regional Ministry there? Is anyone aiding in their move, or it's just the traders moving on their own?
So I'm only seeing traders that are packing their wares out of this place. I haven't come across representatives from the ministry nor from the police or anything. I think the communication has gone down now that all of them have to move out. All of them, most of the traders that I spoke to earlier have indicated that they have received the information to move, and so they are doing so. The other information I'm picking is that if they don't move, they'll be forcibly moved out, and so most of them do not want to undergo that kind of process, and so they are trying to get out of the place as soon as they can so that they do not face any form of force that may be imposed upon them, yes.
Right. Mamiesi, thank you very much for that report. Let's move to the northeast region, where authorities at the Gambaga witch camp are appealing for immediate assistance to cater for the inmates following a shortage of food and other basic supplies in the camp. The camp coordinator, Samson La, told Joy News the situation has compelled majority of the women to engage in hard labor, working long hours on farm fields in exchange for a few grains or cooked food. Let's hear this report.
The coordinator, Samson Lard, made the appeal while receiving a donation from the Assemblies of God Women's Ministries, which is celebrating its 80th anniversary.
Opportunity to thank the women, that the Assemblies of God Ministry, Women Win, that they have done well. In fact, we really have no food now. This is our lean season, especially this June, July, because by then no new food is out. So last week that we finished our maize. So we are happy that God has been good to us, and then they came with something to support us. But it's very poor, especially food. It has been very, very poor for us.
How severe?
Yeah, it's very severe because I told you I said that last week that we finished the last mix that we got for them. And you know, you will need about 20 bags to share them. So what I did was that I had to just choose those who are very weak and cannot go anywhere. That was what I did. So I chose them out and I supplied them with the rest of the 5 bags of maize. And that was all, because it could not get to everybody. And looking at their ages too, but they still go to work to bring something home. They go to people's farms to work for food. Yeah, they go there to work, and at the end of the day, as I was saying, some don't even pay them as required. But what can they do? They need to survive.
The coordinator also expressed concern with what he said was a rise in witchcraft accusations against vulnerable individuals because of the coronavirus outbreak, and advising people who believe in witchcraft to stop seeing the virus through a spiritual lens.
There is one thing I want to say too. That is COVID-19 against witchcraft. I think it's dangerous. Because if someone should die of COVID at the village community, they don't know. And you know, mysterious deaths are those that they accuse them of. So you just see that someone, for example, this year, we have received 11 new ones already. It's dangerous. Because, well, since I came, around almost 4 years now, we have not received up to 11 from January to June. And I was saying that this year, we have gotten the most serious brutalities that we have got. It's so bad. They beat anybody they accuse, they beat the person seriously.
The Assemblies of God Women's Ministry has been in preparations to climax its 80th anniversary celebration sometime later in November. And as part of preparations, the ministries led by 8 regional executives made a donation of food items and clothing to the alleged witches at the camp in Gambaga.
We saw that food.
Presenting the donation, the Women's Ministries Director for the Upper East Region, Gifty Sandu, assured the image the church will continue to provide support to better the conditions of the needed and vulnerable groups.
We are celebrating our 80th anniversary, and it will be in Tamale. It will be in Tamale for the 4 or 5 regions. 4 or 5 regions will be in Tamale. That will be in November. But we want to start with this by showing our widow's mind to the needy. And that is why we have done it. We feel very bad. And even we were saying that if it will be possible, like when you come and you are delivered, they should let you go back to your family. But here's the case, the coordinator is saying that the moment you are even delivered, the community will say they don't want you again. So it means that the chief of this place will now accept them as his family members. So we, the Assemblies of God Women, will also go and think about it and see how we will help them.
On her part, the Women's Ministries Director for the Northeast Region, Memuna Tusando, also assured that the church will intensify campaigns to ensure the imams regain their freedom and dignity.
And let our people know that they are all women. They are not witches. We standing here tomorrow will also be old ladies. So if we don't fight for these old ladies, then one day it will also come to us. So we will advocate for them. And we will let our people know that what they are doing is not good.
Elias Sutanko reporting.
You're live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. It's now time for business with Daryl Kwao.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Rural enterprises were the worst performers in all 16 regions of the country, with Western North obtaining the highest average in the maiden edition of the Ghana Youth Business Performance and Sustainability Index report. The report lists lack of access to finance and high cost of inputs as major threats to the growth of youth-led businesses in the country. There's more in this report.
The study, which sampled 2,016 young enterprises from all 16 regions, showed that rural enterprises are the worst performers among all 16 regions, with the Western North obtaining the highest average. Comfort Okran is board chair of the Youth Sector Engagement Group. She spoke at the launch of the report.
Welcome change to see that there are different organizations seeking to support young businesses as they grow, but we need to ensure that the support that they provide will be able to meet the young businesses at the places that they lack these support.
Senior lecturer, Department of Economics at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Prince Frimpong, highlighted parts of the report which shows that enterprises perform worst on the economic sub-pillar with a lack of access to finance and capital, the high cost of inputs and poor sales and profits threatening the sustainability of youth-owned businesses.
If you look through, some regions have commerce doing well and others also have industry doing well. Okay, so that is the disaggregation that we obtained as far as the business sector was concerned. We also did it by gender. Are males doing better than females? And it's quite slight if you compare the difference there is not so significant.
Meanwhile, Dr. Sharif Gali, CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, says much attention should be directed to youth enterprises in the rural zones.
We call on policymakers, private sector, youth development organizations to get this index, read it, understand the state of youth businesses in our country. This, we believe, will inform their policy decision and the youth programming that they will be doing.
Delivering the keynote address on behalf of the Minister of Youth and Sports, Director of Policy and R&D Mohammed Adams hinted of a Young Achievers Award as well as an aggressive review of youth policies to foster the growth of small businesses.
The Minister of Youth and Sports is this year poised to implementing what we call the Young Achievers Award. And with the Young Achievers Award, we are looking at the young people who are achieving not only in businesses, but in their various fields of endeavor.
The launch of the Made in Ghana Youth Business Performance and Sustainability Index was by the Youth Center Engagement Group and Participatory Development Associate in partnership with the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs and the Association of Ghana Industries.
In other news, the Food Trade Coalition Africa has expressed confidence that efforts to remove trade barriers along the West African corridor will yield positive results soon. According to the co-chair of the coalition, Zaid Hamwi, non-tariff barriers will be a major challenge to the continental free trade area if various governments neglect the call by stakeholders to deal with it. He spoke to Joy Business after addressing the coalition's General Assembly in Accra.
Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, South Africa, different areas have different issues and external shocks that happen throughout the past year. And the main issue, for example, in West Africa, has been the impact of the closure of some barriers to the movement of people. But as you know, throughout the COVID-19 crisis, the trades, regional trade from country to country has not stopped, but it is the movement of persons, and that is affecting more or less, impacting mostly, for example, some of the border communities, but it's also affecting the food security situation in some countries, in some areas. In West Africa, the situation, the region has been more resilient than other regions. Now, what COVID has taught us that we have to start to rely on our own internal production for manufacturing and for production, food production. And so luckily, for example, in Ghana, we have started on this path of building our local manufacturing and production capacity locally in order to grow it later on to become more food dependent. But the barriers remain, whether the internal ones because of the many checkpoints which are leading to long delays and losses especially in perishable products, for example. And then with the actual, let's say, the procedural aspects affecting regional trade. So regional trade has not stopped, but that doesn't mean that we have free movement of trade across West Africa, as you know. There are many issues that have to be handled at policy level, but also at practical level. And so we are hoping that with the Food Trade Coalition for Africa, we will be able to tackle these issues as a group in order to interact with the various stakeholders, whether from the private sector or from the policy sector, to create this kind of platform to discuss the issues and to have meaningful policies that, first of all, represent the interests of governments and of the private sector and the economic operators.
And there's plenty more business news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Be sure to check it out. Up next, sports. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, thanks very much for joining us for Sports on Joy News. Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi, President of the now defunct Criminalization Committee of the Ghana Football Association. Dr. Kofi Amoah has called on the government of Ghana to suspend the construction with borrowed monies of flyovers to ensure that an amount of $300 million is invested into the country's football. Speaking at the Ghana Football Forum, Dr. Amoah said the industry is one that has a potential of boosting the country's economy, but requires investment from the state to make it a success.
If we want this football not to be pumping of the chest because we are Ghana, we are going to win. But we want this football to represent a platform for uniting us, for making us happy, and also for creating jobs for our people and for creating wealth in our society. Then we must understand the fundamentals of how this industry works. You have to invest. And here's my proposal to the nation. I am not in favor of borrowing left and right, but we have been borrowing billions, Eurobonds. I am calling for a $300 million investment into the Ghana football industry. And I believe that if we make this investment properly, allocate it to the different segments, grassroots, infrastructure, incentivizing, subsidizing Ghanaian football clubs, who in turn can pay their players well, player welfare, train their coaches, have good coaches, good technical, solid people, and of course, pay our referees and match commissioners and cameramen well. The support backbone that makes it work. $300 million to invest in Ghana football. That may be just not building, 2 or 3 flyovers. Let's suspend building 3 flyovers and seriously look at putting this money into Ghana football so that eventually the passion we have for this game and the purpose for which it can play to create jobs for a lot of the youth whose dreams are in this area.
Now let's do boxing, and Ghana Boxing Authority presidential hopeful Manley Spain has donated to the boxing national team, that's the Black Bombers, as they set off to Japan for the Tokyo Olympic Games. He says the support is his contribution to ensure the team does well at the Games.
I think the reason why we are here, it's some weeks ago, I did at the Lebanon House. I assured my guys, my young brothers here, that I'm just going to support them a little. And today, actually, I'm ready for it since they're leaving tomorrow. I invited them here. I had also invited you to witness the fact. And also, we just wanted to assure them that this is just a token on behalf of me personally, Manley Spain, and then members of the GBA. We have something to present to them, some small cash, not as small, but medium-sized cash to support them once they leave, and then we wait all that we needed to know or to hear. It's their victories right over there, bringing home the gold, and then we can actually assure them of what we feel it's right to be given to them, or the right stuff that will really due them. I'm ready to support them anyway, all the way. They need to get here back, and then we can believe that they're getting ready to be 10 professionals, and therefore we are also opening our arms. The GBA is opening their arms to receive them, and that's the reason why we are here today.
Manly Spain is garnered to replace Peter Zernes as president of the Ghana Boxing Authority. We have more sports to share with you on myjoyonline.com. Just go there and visit the sports website and read more sports stories. I am Muftau Nabila Ablai, and this has been Sports on Joy News Today.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News Today. Now, Tourism Minister Mohamed Awal, together with his deputy Marco Kreko Mante and some members of GTA, visited some tourist sites here in the Greater Accra region as part of activities lined up for boosting and developing the sector. The minister says 55 million Ghana cedis is ready for disbursement for various stakeholders within the sector.
Our plan is to visit all the 16 regions of Ghana to see tourist attractions, so that where we can develop, we develop them into acceptable limits. And where we have to start new ones, we build them. The objectives of the government is to develop at least 2 iconic sites, tourist sites, in each of the 16 regions.
Good news for the tourism sector, as plans are far advanced for the improvement of interesting sites in the country. The sector minister on Monday began a tour of 3 regions from Greater Accra, with his first stop being the National Museum. He continued to Jamestown, where he visited various locations close to Lighthouse, including a gym. At home, he tried to learn some moves. From there, the team went to the newly reopened Asher Fort. The next stop was the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. Well, if you've missed the historical lessons and nostalgic feeling that this environment brings, the minister may well soon give the place facelift that will make your next experience there more exciting. Well, the facelift will not happen at the mausoleum alone, but other entertainment and tourist sites across the country. Funding is what we need. That's the cry from some Ghanaian creatives like Shatta Wale and John Dumelo to government as they bemoan the challenges they're facing in the industry. Well, their request may soon be granted as the sector minister shows monies have been set aside to boost the industry. Mapito Sibidi has details of a meeting the minister held with the Ghanaian celebrities.
The meeting was attended by musicians such as Samini, Shatta Wale, Joe Mettle, and actors like James Gardner, Van Vicker, and Prince David Osei. Media personalities, including Andy Dosty and George Quay, were also present. During the engagement, industry players requested that government focuses on solving one problem of the industry at a time. Here's what actor James Gardner had to say on behalf of his colleagues in the movie industry.
Funding. I say this in the context of even artist fees. I want to just say this so that I won't have to talk for too long. I feel like if there's a source of funding that aids production, not necessarily just any production, because now things have changed, we've developed. We're talking about standards and quality here with platforms like Netflix, Sony, Apple TV, and whatnot. We're still at the age where we're producing movies, but most of them don't even get to be recognized globally, which I feel like that's where we should be paying more attention to, because that's how well we'll sell Ghana outside. But if we only produce these kind of movies only to satisfy the viewers here or just on DSTV, I feel like we're limiting our shores. So if there's a stream of funding that the producers can tap into, and when this happens, then that means that obviously the artists are also getting well paid for it,
But is money all that they need? Listen to Shatawale giving his opinion on the matter.
Yes, we need money in the industry. Like, everybody needs it. It's just that sometimes we're scared to say it. But it's time for us to let the government know. Government, when you give us 10 million or put 10 million down for you, we'll bring a proposal and a plan. They are smart people. When your proposal is good, your plan is nice, they're going to support.
Actor turned politician John DeMello spoke about tourism and the need to improve the sector.
Repeat tourism. As the Minister of Creative Arts and Tourism, what are we doing to ensure that people come back to Ghana to spend more money? Because I feel that they cannot keep on going to Cape Coast Castle, Emina Castle, Kakum, and so on and so forth. So what are we doing? What new innovations are we adding to the tourism industry so that every year they can come back?
Well, Tourism Minister Mohammed Awal had this to say in response to their requests and their suggestions.
I'm prepared to learn very fast. I'm prepared to work with you to move this industry to the next level. The President of the Republic, President Akufo-Addo, has asked me to change this industry within 2 years. Amen. And I want to assure you that with your support, for me, what I know is money. What I know is money. So I want to help, see how we can help each other to make the money. Make the money, grow your business, employ Ghanaians, and pay your taxes. We will make money. We are going to put, Shadowale will start with 5 million cities, seed capital, and grow it. Within 2 years, we would have that money to support everybody.
Well, on that note, we end showbiz here on Joy News today. Daniel, good news for the creative arts industry. I think that this is the step in the right direction, and we're hoping that the minister will do all the things that he said that he will do.
Right, we've seen a lot of commitment, we've seen a lot of movement from the minister, Dr. Ibrahim Awal. I think that in the previous administration, when he was at the Ministry of Business Development, he may not have had that much latitude to move as he is now.
Yeah.
And I wish him the best. We want the best for the country and the industry.
Yeah.
I can see your confidence that things can get better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Daniel, we can only hope that, you know, everything or our needs are met in the industry.
Anyway, but on a lighter note, Marco Krikuman is looking quite good as a...
I tell you, Honorable, we say hello to you, Honorable.
All right, then, that's it for this bulletin of Joy News today. Many thanks for joining us. Up next is the Marketplace. Daryl is coming back to bring you that business update. But for more news, log on to myjournalline.com. Have a good day. Stay safe.
Bye.